stick around for a while longer, but the GM won't. Chiefs today parted ways with John Dorsey, who had 1 year left on his contract. Diamondbacks up on the Rockies 10-3 in the ninth inning. Paul Goldschmidt has knocked in 4. He's got a 3-run shot. Astros lead the A's right now in the seventh, 11-3. I'm Dan Beyer.
It's time for Clemson Sports Talk with Lawton Swan.
Ready, set,
just call me Swanee.
Tiger style. Tiger style.
Finally, Clemson Sports Talk has come back to Columbia. Hello, everybody. Lawton Swan, surprise, surprise, back in the building. 316 Greystone Boulevard. They couldn't get rid of me.
Well, here's the thing. I left last night.
Yes.
Realized, you know what? I don't have a way to get in today. So I text you, right? And you say, well, here's the thing.
Yeah, this is how this is going to work.
They heard, upper management heard that you were planning on burning the station down. So
exactly. So they called in reinforcements. They were like, Swanee, he cannot go on the air by himself. No, what happened was actually our good trusty intern Lowell is out trying to – he has a job.
Yeah.
He also has an internship. It's kind of like a permanent internship. But he's trying to get an actual job, with benefits and the things that you get for a job working with the state. So
wow,
he had an interview today.
Okay.
And he calls me, and you and I had talked, Zach and I had talked. Zach Lentz in studio here, Clemson Sports Talk tonight. And he goes, Swanee, I don't think I'm going to make it. I'm on the north side of Greenville, and it looks like I'm going to be late to the program. And so I was like, Lowell, don't worry about it. I got it. I talked to Zach. I'll be in studio. I'll hang out with him. It'll give Zach a day to run the board because you're going to man it up tomorrow by yourself. So that'll be nice. That'll be nice. I think everybody will enjoy that. In the zone with Zach.
Yeah, that's the thing. Once you've done this, it's like riding a bike. You just kind of hop back on and kick the pedals. Go.
It does. I mean, there's occasionally a learning curve here or there, but for the most part, most studios are the same. You look at the clock. It's if I walk into another building here or another studio or anywhere, and heck, man, when I started at my house with the podcast edition of the program, I had a board that looked exactly like the one that sits in front of us, except it was just 8 what they call pots.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, this is simple enough for me. This is probably 3 or 4 years newer than the one I had, but it's all about the same. I mean, I feel pretty comfortable being around this so much that if I go to like a concert and there's a band playing and there's that guy that's kind of at the back, I guess, running the levels, I'm always like, buddy, you can just get up. I can take care of that. Just give me the headphones, get out of the way, go grab you a drink, whatever.
Here's my question.
Okay.
My question is, I kind of hinted to Courtney King, who we talked about last,
Coco King, my good friend over there at
Fox. Watch Fox 57.
Right.
Yeah, on Solid Orange. And I hinted to her, I've been on the show for about, I don't know, it seems like 12 weeks in a row now or something.
Her show. Not I was like, you've been on this show twice, Zach. Twice.
It may have felt it's actually 3 times.
This is the third.
This is the third, yeah.
Yes, but
I know numbers aren't your best thing.
I was thinking
anyway,
you were saying. I'll tell you what I was thinking you were saying.
What?
I thought you were saying that it felt like you had been here 12 weeks and you've only been here a couple of times.
So here's the thing. I kind of hinted to her. I said, isn't it about time for me to get a little bit of love? A little bit of Solid Orange with Courtney and Zach.
Oh.
And she kind of said, no. I mean, she shot me down. She shot me down pretty hard, but. I'm kind of thinking, it might be about time for a little Clemson Sports Talk with Lawton and Zach.
I hear you. That. Lowell's driving it. Lowell just pushed the pedal down a little bit harder trying to show up.
That's right.
803-978-1832. Tonight, the NBA draft gets underway. We'll have that coverage for you. We'll talk a little bit about that. Also, Vegas odds have come out on Deshaun Watson starting in the NFL as a rookie. We've also got some information out of the Clemson baseball program, a little look over at the Georgia Bulldogs, and a comment from Vince Dooley that I found quite interesting, plus a number of topics that Zach had lined up as well. We want to welcome you, though. You can be a part of the program. Head over to ClemsonSportsTalk.com, click the Join the Conversation button, and come on in. Zach and I have been working pretty diligently today to make some things move over on social media, and one of those things was we were trying to find a little script, I guess you would say, that would allow us to post news that was breaking over on the Slack channel where everybody's chatting during the day, and you know, people catch a minute at lunch and they could comment or whatever. And so I found one that said, "Oh yeah, here it is." You know, you get the hashtag breaking, and it'll post to the Slack channel that you choose. I set it all up. I said, "Zach, man, I got this all set up. Looks good. Let's turn it on." I flipped the switch, and Zach and I are sitting there kind of going, "Okay, well, why don't you just tweet out the word breaking?" Which is kind of a pain for people that follow me on Twitter at Clemson Sports, but we had to do it to test it. I mean, there's no sandbox in social media. Sometimes you have to test things in full version, whatever you want to call it. So I'm sitting there waiting, and all of a sudden, like 45 things come tracking through. Apparently, every tweet on earth with the hashtag breaking at that moment.
Yeah, it
came into the web, and somebody said, I think it was Bent Zero said, "Holy Slack storm, Batman!"
Yeah,
it was rough.
It was, but you know what? There's a learning curve, like
there
you say, and you know, I'm sure that the listeners and subscribers out there to the Slack channel understand that we're only trying to make things better.
Well, and the good news is things are going to get better real soon over on ClemsonSportsTalk.com. We got a lot of fresh changes coming. I've been telling you guys since really we turned the calendar in January. 2017 is the takeover for the show that shakes the Southland and our website. We're so thankful for all the work that my web guy Brad puts in, and just does an incredible job. But one of the things that I could tell from the time we built the website to where we are today with social media and with everything else going on, we needed to change some of those things, and they're coming, and they're coming soon. So we're excited about that. We're excited about Zach being a part of the program tonight and being a part of the show tomorrow, and then ultimately, hopefully, being a bigger part of the Clemson Sports Talk brand. 803-978-1832. Clemson Craig chiming in via the Ocean Reef Resort text line. He says, "Tell Zach he has to get in line behind Lowell, Mark, and Clemson Craig." So there's a little bit of a line before you can come stepping into the microphone. You know, the biggest problem with Mark and Craig is that those two can't decide if it's going to be the Craig and Mark show or the Mark and Craig show. And until they can figure that out, it may not go anywhere.
Always go alphabetical.
Is that
always go alphabetical? It sounds better alphabetical.
Is that the rule?
That's the rule that I just made up. So yes.
For a guy named Zach, that's a risky rule because rarely are you going to be ahead of anybody.
Yeah, well, you know, I learned early on that's fine. That's fine. You know, I'm good with you know, the last shall be first. So that's kind of what, you know, I hang my hat on.
There you go. Zach Lentz in studio with us last night. Of course, we had Jerron Blossom game on the program. You can hear that entire interview over on ClemsonSportsTalk.com. It's also on Twitter at Clemson Sports. And tonight, as you and I have talked about quite a bit, for Jerron Blossom game, we both feel like this is a second-round evening for him, mid to late second round. And I didn't want to say this to Jerron Blossom game last night, but I think there's the potential that he's not drafted tonight, and that would be disappointing for him.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a strong possibility, you know. And like you say, you know, you don't want to crush his dreams. He's up there in New York with his family and kind of trying to enjoy the atmosphere. But, yeah, I mean, there are some serious questions that teams have about him right now, mainly with his leg, his defense, and, I mean, his ability to shoot the ball and stretch and play that kind of stretch 4 position or 3. So, you know, it's going to be probably a very nervous night for him. You know, I don't know how it's going to turn out, but, you know, it doesn't look good when you look at some of the prognostications that are out there right now, you know, on the eve of the draft.
Well, I'll say this, too, though, and this is something that I think we can both agree on in terms of Jerron Blossom game and the NBA draft. And I found it unique that he was in New York City for this. I mean, yeah. I really did find it unique. So I thought to myself, well, maybe he knows something. And you kind of ask him a question, you know, are there teams that you feel like? And you almost wonder, has somebody said to him, hey, look, man, if you're available in the second round at the, you know, whatever the 55th pick or whatever the number is, we're going to take you.
Yeah, you know, the thing about the NBA, and we were just talking about this, before the show, the thing about the NBA that's so stressful is in order to be guaranteed anything, in order for there to be any guaranteed money or any kind of contract that's guaranteed, you have to go in the first round.
Yep.
So really the second round, it's kind of a crapshoot. I mean, the guys that go in there, they got to, get after it, work hard, harder than the first rounders.
Sure, there's no guaranteed money, and the opportunities there. You see these guys go in for a year, and you and I were touching on this with Rob Sanders before the program about KJ McDaniels and the 1-year deal, and knowing that you can go get a better contract after one, and maybe that is what ends up happening for a young man like Jerron Blossom game. But again, the NBA draft tonight getting set to get underway, and we will keep you updated as those picks come off the board. I do think that the good news for Jerron is it only takes one.
Yeah.
It only takes one guy. It takes Zach Lentz, the GM for the Milwaukee Bucks, to go, you know what? I like this kid. There's something, just to see something. And future potential even. The problem he may have in that respect is that he's an older draftee this year. And you almost wonder, we talk about the one-and-done situation now that you've gotten versus guys going right out of high school and having that 3-year window. How do the younger guys that leave early, how does that affect some of these older guys that hang on and hang around and play through their senior year? That's something that's kind of tough to quantify, but it certainly exists.
Yeah, well, when you start to look at the draft picks and whether guys are going to be taken one and done, honestly, I think the best thing the NBA can do, and we've talked about this ad nauseum, is go to a baseball model. Allow the kids that want to come out to go ahead and come out, and then require the kids to stay 3 years. The problem with what the NBA has now is, and Jerron Blossom game is facing this, is if I'm the New York Knicks and I've got an opportunity to take an 18-year-old from Spain who can play, or I'm going to take a 22 or 23-year-old Jerron Blossom game or PJ Dozier, to me, if you're looking at long-term investment, you're looking at, hey, I want the guy that is 3 or 4 years younger. I mean, his body's going to be able to mature a little bit. You're going to be able to work him out a little bit harder. You may get some extra minutes out of him. So, that in and of itself is going against him.
That's a great point. And, of course, the NBA draft tonight at 7 o'clock on ESPN, the Philadelphia 76ers with the first pick as they've moved up. And, I've poked fun in the past of the Cleveland Cavaliers and the fact that they've had the number one pick quite frequently when LeBron James was gone. But, my goodness, Philadelphia, is it me, or does it feel like they are the number one pick every year?
Yeah, well, I think the first 4 picks this year are the exact same as they were last year.
Well, you might be right. I didn't know that. I didn't recognize
I think I saw
that,
something. Yeah, that the first 4 picks are the exact same that they were last year. So that either tells you that the NBA is very top heavy,
sure,
or something's a little bit fishy there.
Well, and Philadelphia may need more about the front office.
Yeah, they may need more help than just they may need a plethora of first round picks.
Well, and they took Nerlens Noel several years ago, and then they took the kid from Kansas, Joel Embiid, and then the kid out of LSU last year, and now they got the number one pick again. It's like, my goodness, guys, when are you going to finally put something together?
Well, to me, it goes back to the one and done.
Yeah, Ben Simmons. That's,
I mean,
and they took Jahlil Okafor in 2015 with the third pick.
Yeah, I mean, so maybe they need to take a Jerron Blossom game. Maybe they need a little bit more mature person.
Man, I'm looking at this thing. Incredible. Honestly, I feel like they've had higher picks than they've had, I guess. But Evan Turner with the second pick back in 2010. 2011, they had the 16th pick. 15th pick in 2013, they had the 11th pick. Then they had the third pick in 2014 and the 10th pick. Then the third pick in 2015, the first pick in 2016, and the first pick in 2017. I mean, they've drafted fairly high the past 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, so, but, it's crazy when you look at NBA teams that can't seem to get over the hump, and you wonder, it's not for a lack of talent.
Right.
I mean, obviously these kids are very talented players. I mean, I'm not sure they could take Swanee, on the court of Little
Probably
John
not.
in a horse game.
Probably not.
But, they're obviously talented players. So is it the coaching that's the problem? Is it front office? Is it chemistry? I mean, there's got to be some other aspect to them not being able to succeed.
I think a lot of it is front office, and I think the fact that you've seen, certain GMs move around the NBA and the success follows them, like Jerry West. I mean, when he was with Los Angeles, they were incredible with the Lakers. He's able to bring in multi-talented guys, great players at the top of their game like Shaq and Kobe, and get that to work out. And then, he's not technically, I guess, the GM or was the GM with Golden State, but again, you're talking about getting individuals to work together for a common cause and be willing to maybe take a little less. And so, I mean, you've got that aspect of it too. I think that's one of the biggest things is having a good GM.
Yeah, I mean, well, and you've seen it kind of work in the opposite with Phil Jackson up in New York. I mean, here's a guy that was an outstanding head coach.
Crazy good coach.
I mean, arguably one of the greatest to ever coach in the NBA. And yet he goes to New York and, he struggled. Call a spade a spade. I mean, he's struggled to put together a winning program up there. And, I don't know. But if there's front office issues and it's not talent, then, at some point, do the players not go, you know what? We're going to have to win in spite of these people. I mean, if you got talented players, and everybody, I guess that's the thing. Every team in the NBA has talent. It's just, do they have the coaching?
Well, sometimes I've wondered, Zach, if it's the money that these guys make that has driven away some of the drive to be great. Like, if iHeart Media walked in here today and said, Swanee, look, man, here's $30 million. Here's your check. Thank you for being a part of iHeart Media. Where's my incentive at that point to be any good at this?
Well, I think it's got to come internally.
Right. So the guys that don't have that internal motivation, they go, well, you know what? I'm good enough to do this for the next 10 years and make money and not really care about, am I a champion? There are guys that don't strive, in my opinion, the way LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, and some of the others have really, had that drive and motivation to be a champion. I think some guys are just like, you know what? I've already won. Look at all the money I've got. Look at the cars I drive. Look at the house I've won at life. I don't care about.
So you're a champion of life.
You basically play at Tennessee football. Yes. I think that's how it goes.
Yeah, but you're going to have that in every sport, right?
Theoretically. The NBA, I think it's 5 guys. It's more money. It's a shorter season than baseball. I mean, I don't know. I can't put my finger on it.
I mean, you're going to have guys in every single professional sport that could play that way. I mean, they could say that. I think you're right that it has to come internally, but I don't think the money, is necessarily an issue. I don't know if it's maybe the chemistry within the teams when you start to bring these high-priced guys in.
Yeah.
Like you said, iHeartRadio comes in, says, you know what, we're going to give you $30 million. Okay, they come in and give me $50 million because I've got more hair.
Yeah, now I'm really upset about the hair, not the money.
So there can create a little bit of animosity. You
Sure.
don't want to give me the ball as much. I mean, that kind of stuff. But I don't know. But at some point, do you not go, hey, guys, you're big boys, and is there really that big of a difference in, $30 million and $50 million?
Exactly. Hey, we'll come back. 803-978-1832 is the number, and we'll touch on not only we mentioned Jerron Blossom game earlier, but we also we'll talk about some South Carolina Gamecocks here on Fox Sports Radio and iHeartRadio.
Of Orangeburg is crushing all the competition. Come buy your new Versa from us, the #1 Versa dealer in the region. We'll pay off your trade and get you in a brand new Nissan. Go to NissanOrangeburg.com and lower your monthly payment today. Your job is your approval. Nissan of Orangeburg, doing business the easy way. Nissan of Orangeburg, located off exit 145A on I-26, or visit NissanOrangeburg.com. Nissan of Orangeburg, doing business the easy way. See dealer for details.
And here's another 5-star review for Scott's Auto Repair from Mason in West West Columbia.
Service was great, and they were able to take my car in immediately. All fluids were changed in my Sprinter van as asked, and price was great for the services that were done. Thank you. I will be using you guys from now on.
So trust the professionals at Scott's Auto with one of the best warranties for parts and labor. 3 years or 36,000 miles coast to coast. Visit scottsautosc.com or call 926-2247 for cars, truck, and fleet. Service you can't beat at Scott's Auto. See Scott's Auto for more details.
Need custom shirts, hats, or uniforms? How about promotional giveaways for your business or organization? Need fast turnaround times? Look no further than Meridian Printing and Promotions. Located in Lexington, they provide an in-house art department, in-house screen printing, and in-house embroidery services to the Midlands and beyond. For the absolute best quality products and services, contact Meridian Printing and Promotions, 785-4990. Check them out online, mbspromo.com.
Columbia Office Furniture is the destination for quality new or used office furniture. Preview thousands of new quick-ship desks, chairs, workstations, file cabinets, bookcases, conference room furniture, and more at cofsc.com. Then visit our 12,000-square-foot showroom at 301 Greystone Boulevard to see, sit in, touch, and feel actual samples before you buy, or browse our huge selection of quality used office furniture. And we offer layout and design services as well as installation. Visit cofsc.com today. Columbia Office Furniture. We furnish solutions.
Welcome back to Clemson Sports Talk. Join the show in the chat room at clemsonsportstalk.com.
803-978-1832, 803-978-1832. You know, Thursdays, this is the crazy thing. Everybody, and I try to tell everybody, the summer's going to go by fast. Thursdays show up so quickly. We got Clemson Tom that comes on at 6:20 via the DNC Trucking and Transport guest line, and I somehow always forget that it's already Thursday. So, Tom, man, welcome in. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, man, I'm actually heading towards the Magic Draft Party now. That's funny you say that. I got to put a reminder on my phone to call in every Thursday at 6:17. So there's times I completely forgot.
Listen, I'm going to be honest. You haven't forgotten all that much because I think you've been here each and every week, and we obviously appreciate that. So you're actually headed to an Orlando Magic Draft Party? That's incredible.
Yeah. No, they have one every year. They only invite so many people, and, you know, if you can go, you go. If you can't, you can't. But it's always a good time. So me and one of my good friends we're heading there now, actually. I'm in the car.
Okay, so I'm confused here. They only invite so many people. We know you're a big deal in the Clemson, the Clemson group. You're a big deal in the Orlando Magic group. Is that what you're telling me?
Essentially. I mean, I've had meetings with their people a few times. I mean, I'm like, no, T-Bone Horn is going to put me on blast like that.
Right.
I've had about 3 meetings on just different things with fan interaction and different ideas. I'm actually wearing a jersey that a friend of mine who's riding with me right now actually gave him the idea for the jersey. So we've helped out here and there.
Can we expect to see Magic Tom videos at some point on YouTube?
For the Magic? No.
So you're not quite all in.
It's It's NBA basketball, and the Magic haven't really given us too much of stuff to cheer for, man.
Well,
no YouTube videos back quite yet.
I don't know if you recognize the voice, but Zach Lentz is in studio with us here tonight from the Orangeburg Times at Democrat, hanging out, and I'll let him ask you a couple of questions as well about the NBA draft. But I'll give you one more. Do you think Jerron Blossom game gets drafted tonight? What's your gut feeling tell you?
The later rounds, I don't. Late two, but I don't see him going tonight.
You do not see him going tonight?
No, they're not.
Ooh, that would probably not make him very happy for making the trip up to New York.
Yeah.
Hey, look, he knows more about where he's going to get drafted than I do. That's all I'm going to say. Would I be surprised? I don't think he goes in the first round. Like I said, I could see him going 2. If he goes in the first round, man, good job for him. But there's been guys that showed up to the draft and haven't gotten drafted, so that's all I'm going to say.
No, that's absolutely true. I think about your Orlando Magic, and I've kind of watched a former, what I would call pariah in Dwight Howard, move around the NBA, and now he's with the Charlotte Hornets, a team that I would really like to love and like to pull for, but they just continue, even though they've got Michael Jordan there kind of running things, to make me shake my head. What is the problem with Dwight Howard as a former Magic fan, in your opinion? What is the biggest problem with Dwight Howard?
he just never made that turn, honestly, just from kind of what I've grasped. And I'm sitting right next to one of his good friends, so I got to watch what I say.
Hold on, you're sitting next to Dwight Howard's good friend?
Yeah.
Ask your friend. Put your friend
him?
on the phone. I want to ask him what's Dwight Howard's problem. What's wrong with Dwight Howard?
Hold on, I can't hear you. Hold on.
All right,
go ahead. How's it going?
I'm good, man. Listen, I'm a Los Angeles Laker guy. I've watched Dwight bounce around the league. Why in the world can a guy like Dwight Howard, 6'10", all the physical gifts, everything you could want? I have said this guy should be the best big man we've seen in recent years, but he's not. What's going on? Why can't Dwight achieve that?
Well, basketball is a team sport, and it's also a business. It's one thing to the fans, and it's, a totally different thing to the other 450 whatever individuals that get to play on an NBA team. So, I mean, it's a team game.
Yeah.
And, everybody grows up. Dwight's come a long way since Orlando, since Los Angeles, and since Houston. Those are all, and don't forget, Dwight came to Orlando when he was 18 years old.
Sure.
And he's 31. So think about everything that between 18 and 31. And I don't know, I'm not the angel of human being. I can't speak for anybody else, but everybody, as you get older, you learn from your decisions. And, just because you play in the NBA doesn't mean that you're not a human being. You don't grow as an individual. I can't speak for anybody else. But,
right.
There's a level of want to, and certain times, when you go to your job and you get frustrated and you tell your boss, hey, I think we should do this, and they don't listen, how does that make you feel? I mean, everything relates to real life.
Yeah, no, listen,
So
this is
if
a
you
great
look-
point.
if you go to
This is a great point you make, because I just talked about that. So let me ask you this. Do you think that because of the incredible salaries that some of these guys are making in the NBA, that puts them in a situation where they've got so much power, they've got so much money, they don't have to give you everything anymore because they've got everything they need already? Is that a possibility for some players in the league?
Well, I mean, everybody's their own individual, but, I mean, don't forget who pays NBA player salaries or any athlete's salary. I mean, if you don't go to the game, nobody shows up, then they're not able to pay the players that. There's no revenue. But, I mean, it's media, it's everybody buying jerseys, and it's not just NBA, it's every sport. If you're upset about all the money that whatever player it is makes,
yeah,
don't go to the game. Don't support the team. Don't buy the jersey. Don't read about it in the newspaper. Don't listen to the sports talk radio. But, I mean, fortunately for them and, for whatever it is that, I mean, the Magic, for example, they had a, record attendance this year. They were 15th in average attendance for the regular season home games. And they were far from, good. They had, fifth or sixth worst record in the league. But they're still selling tickets, and the teams are still making money. The owners are still billionaires,
You think Dwight will be happy in Charlotte? I thought Atlanta would feel like home. I thought Atlanta would feel like the place he would really put it all out there.
Atlanta
But
is home.
Well, right, but I just didn't feel like that he fit. The chemistry just wasn't there, like you said.
I mean, it's a system. It's
yeah.
a system.
You think he'll do good in
Basketball's
Charlotte,
a sport.
though? You think he'll do good in Charlotte?
I do. And I'm not just saying that. I mean, I haven't spoken to him in the past 2 weeks or so, or actually the playoffs when I was in Atlanta.
Yeah.
But, Steve Clifford's a good coach. He's worked with him before, here in Orlando. And, they do have a decent team. I mean, Charlotte is not a sorry team. They had some injuries. Kemba is a hell of a ball player. Sorry,
sure he is.
My language. I don't know if I could say that, but I mean, Kemba is a baller.
That can go over the air.
They call him Cardiac Kemba, and that is a good nickname, But, I mean, it's a system game. If you look, I mean, just take, for example, we watch the NBA Finals, right? LeBron scores 40 points a game, and they lose. So he has these inflated stats because you let that player do what he wants and control the game and limit everyone else's touches, and one man is not able to do that. So, I mean, if you don't feed the player the ball, I mean, look, Dwight didn't get the ball in Houston. They didn't really run a pick-and-roll system. James Harden is, a pretty good ball player himself, and that's the way that went in Houston. And Atlanta, I mean, it's a system. And the NBA has changed, too. It's been, 12 or 13 years Dwight's been in the league, and The center position is not the same as it was. Dwight's changed his game. But, I mean, his strengths are always there in defense and rebounding. So, I feel the center position is going by the wayside. But, I mean, if you look at teams with two bigs, like San Antonio had Tim Duncan and Dave Robinson last season, and, they did fairly well with two bigs. They got Saul this past year,
right?
And he filled right out, and LaMarcus Aldridge. You know what I mean? So they got
Sure.
those two big guys, and San Antonio's a system also. Don't get me wrong, but I think that if you put two big guys together, which I think might be a possibility, as to I don't think Charlotte's done make a move. So they got some draft night tonight. They can make some trades or pick up. I think they're picking 12th or 13th or something, I believe. So I mean, they're in a position where they can make a decent pickup, or package it and pick up some other,
some other pieces. Yeah, man. No, I agree. Hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate the insight, buddy. I appreciate the insight. Tell Clemson Tom, thank you. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah, some insight there into the into the Orlando Magic draft and the Charlotte Hornets. 803-978-1832. Clemson Sports Talk, back at it in 3 minutes on Fox Sports Radio and iHeart Radio.
Hi, I'm Alicia Kaufman-Quinton. My daddy, Billy Kaufman, opened Kaufman's Meat Plant at our present location in 1955. My family still works hard every day to ensure fresh quality cuts of beef, pork, and poultry. How about a tasty T-bone, ribeye, or New York strip steak? But to order at Kaufman's Meat and Place. Just look for the signs near the intersection of US 1 and I-20 in Lexington. Call us at 356-0076 to place your order. Kaufman's Meat and Place, when you want the very best your money can buy.
When a stroke happens, every second counts. So don't drive and call 911 to get to the emergency department as soon as possible. At Lexington Medical Center, we're pleased to serve our community. As a certified primary stroke center, our acute stroke team rapidly evaluates patients and provides them with the fastest treatment possible. This specialized care limits the chance of brain damage and gives stroke patients a better chance of full recovery. Act quickly at the first sign of a stroke and count on the Stroke Center at Lexington Medical Center to provide you with the best possible care.
Love it raw? For the freshest sushi in town, Sakatumi Grill and Sushi Bar, 807 Gervais Street in the Vista. Sakatumi's flavorful grill for non-sushi fans features the Kobe burger, filet and lobster, chicken hibachi, and more. Fresh sushi, flavorful grill, Sakatumi Grill and Sushi Bar, sakifresh.com.
Our customers receive the best heating and air conditioning service in South Carolina. Hi, I'm Tim Mosley, and I can make that statement because that's what our customers tell us every day. We call it quality confirmed. Call us at 803-233-7172, and we'll call you when the job is done to confirm we met your expectations. That's quality confirmed. We're Carolina Conditions, and we're committed to meeting your expectations. 803-233-7172. Call us at 803-233-7172.
It's shaping up to be a mild and muggy night with a slight chance for a few lingering showers or thunderstorms. Overnight lows back in the mid-70s. On Friday, we turn up the heat. It's going to be hot. Low to mid-90s. Partly sunny skies. A slight chance for a shower or storm. For Channel 25, ABC Columbia, I'm meteorologist Greg Armbrecht.
This report is brought to you by your local Food Lion.
Summer's freshest savings are at Food Lion. Get large red seedless grapes for just $1.49 a pound. Juicy honeydew or personal seedless melons for $2.99 each. And ripe eggplants for just $1.29 a pound. Food Lion, how refreshing.
Welcome back to Clemson Sports Talk. Join the show in the chat room at clemsonsportstalk.com.
Clemson Sports Talk, Lawton Swan, Zach Linton, studio man in the board, Lowell the intern, missing. But he does, I think, he's getting close to having a job, so that's exciting. So if you are in the upstate and you happen to interview a guy named Lowell today, hire that guy. He's a good kid. There's a reference for you. Clemson Tom was on, and then apparently
You didn't make any friends.
No, a guy simply known as a friend of Dwight Howard was on with us. And I thought he was a little defensive for Dwight Howard.
Yeah, he was. You obviously didn't make many friends with him. I mean,
I did not.
Here's the thing. When you're friends with somebody, sometimes, that clouds your judgment, and it clouds your, ability to see things the way they are. And, while Dwight Howard, I don't think anybody's disputing his ability. I mean, he's had a good career. He's been in the league for, 31? So he's been in the league for 13, 14 years.
Right.
I mean, this is a guy that's had a long career in the NBA. He's an all-star. But I think it's fair to say that he's also a guy that hasn't necessarily lived up to the billing. So,
I agree.
I think the
NBA has changed, but I still never thought.
I mean, when you looked at Dwight Howard under the basket,
Yeah.
he was a guy that through the TV scared me. I mean, his shoulders, guy had muscles on top of muscles.
I thought he would have been this era Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought he would have been the great center of this era.
Yeah, but instead he's turned out to be a role player.
He can't shoot free throws, so he's a liability.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a great inside move. Like, if you look at Hakeem Olajuwon, if you look at Patrick Ewing, if you look at David Robinson, Tim Duncan, even Shaquille O'Neal, had some really good footwork and just the ability to create space underneath the basket. Dwight Howard, in my opinion, and this is where I always go with him, I look at him and I see a gazelle. I see a guy that should be able to fly up and down the court at 6'11" and just really dominate. I don't need you to handle the ball like Magic Johnson.
No.
But I see a guy that I feel like has the athleticism to have gone down as an all-time great.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And that's where the frustration comes in.
And I'm not getting that.
Yeah, and that's where the frustration comes in. And I think, it's valid. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, when you see a guy that, it looks like he has maybe a 3% body fat.
Yeah.
Has shoulders the size, wider than, I don't know how he gets through doors. This is something that concerns you if you're a team, and that's why I think he's bounced around lately. Now he's going to Charlotte.
Yeah. I don't think people really enjoy playing with him.
No. Well, all you got to do is look at his time in LA and you can find that out. The guys on the team didn't like him.
NBA draft.
They did not like him.
About 22 minutes out here. We'll keep you updated as those draft picks come off the board. The good news, it moves a lot faster than the NFL draft, which when we cover that here on the air, there's a 15-minute gap in between picks. Did they trim that back to 10? I think they did trim it back to 10. But anyway, this will be a pretty quick draft tonight, so we'll keep you covered on all of those moves. We mentioned that Jerron Blossom game we think is going to be either latter half of the second round, maybe not drafted.
Yeah.
How about Sindarius Thornwell? He presents a unique case because in a league where players like Thornwell can be successful, meaning slashers, guys who can get to the basket, guys who can defend, I really like this kid's heart. We just talked about heart and effort and energy. Good gracious, I'm not sure that there was a player in the postseason that gave more than Sindarius Thornwell gave for the South Carolina Gamecocks. Do you think Thornwell comes off the board tonight? Or do the top two players, I would argue, in the state of South Carolina go undrafted? Because I think they're both mid to late non-draftable guys.
Yeah, they both present similar situations. Now, with Thornwell, I think you've got a guy who the NBA will take a chance on before they will take a chance on Blossom game. I see Thornwell going maybe somewhere like the Pelicans, maybe, a team like that can develop him into the offensive player. But I look for him to be in the second round, maybe around, I think the Pelicans pick 40 or something like that. So that to me, it would be a good spot for him. Here's the thing. He has been arguably one of the most dependable players on South Carolina's team. When you look at what he's done and accomplished there, he is one of the most dependable players that Frank Martin could throw out there, and he knew what he was going to get out of.
Oh, Frank, if you could replicate him and throw out 5, like multiplicity, like the movie. Now, copy 4 or 5 might be a little bit squirrely.
Yep.
But that kid, okay. So there's a part of me as a Clemson graduate that goes, you know what? I'm never supposed to like anything South Carolina.
Yeah.
There's that part of me. There's also the part of me that is a former athlete and a part of me that's a journalist. And I go, you know what? When I see a kid that gives everything, when I'm watching him in that ball game where he scored like 44 points and had 20-something rebounds, and he's by himself keeping his team in the game, as a former basketball player, I'm going, dude, I got respect for that.
Yeah.
And I love that. And I would give him a shot because I think that in a pickle, in a bad spot, I could go to my bench and I could say, Sin, get in there, give us everything you got. Greg Buckner did that in the NBA. Greg Buckner was never great. He started in the league. He was never great. He probably didn't deserve to start in the league based on talent, but on everything he gave the Dallas Mavericks, they went, well, we need a two-guard, somebody who'll defend, and Buck could do it. And you've been around basketball enough to know that can help.
Yeah, and here's the thing that I don't think a lot of people think about. These coaches and GMs, when they're looking at players, they're also looking at the coaches that you played for and the systems that you came from.
It's a good point.
And I think Frank Martin's system and what he's done at South Carolina and the kind of coach that he is, like him or not, I think if you were to put Brad Brownell, who's a great X's and O's coach, but if you were to put Brad Brownell against Frank Martin, I think the GMs in the NBA would sit here and they would tell you, we like the development that Frank Martin gives.
Well, I think Frank probably gets more out of his players.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Sindarius Thornwell, here's a guy that was the undisputed leader of this team.
No question.
I mean, he averaged 21.4 points a game, 7.1 rebounds, 2.8 assists, and 2 steals. Those are numbers. And look, the 21 points a game, a lot of people say, well, you know what? There are other guys that scored more. I don't think people realize how many points a game 21 points is. I mean, I remember sitting at Little John and watching Will Solomon, score 21 points a game. We thought at that time, my goodness, we're watching a guy that's going to play forever in the NBA.
Yeah.
But it's not just his points. It's the defensive hustle. It's the things that – I mean, when you watch that South Carolina team, the whole team, when you watch that team in the final and through the NCAA tournament, the way they defended, I joked about it in their game against Clemson, that they were the hardest defending team I've ever seen.
They were great. And you know what? When we come back, we're going to continue to talk a little bit about the Gamecocks because I want to ask you about P.J. Dozier. He's expected to be drafted potentially tonight as well. Stay here with us on Clemson Sports Talk.
You're on Pit Stop Radio, and here's what real customers have to say about their pit stop.
I work at the mall. Either just get gas or a drink. I get Arizona teas. Gas is always cheap, and it's convenient on the way to work. I like Mountain Dew and Sprite fountain drinks. They got 32 ounces, 99 cents. Yeah, that's a great deal. Everybody should stop by Pit Stop. Support your community.
Want convenience without compromise?
Don't stop till you're at Pit Stop.
Looking to get away without having to spend a whole day traveling to your destination? Ocean Reef Resort offers 1, 2, 3, and 4-bedroom accommodations with the comforts of home and boasts the best oceanfront views. Swim in their sparkling indoor and outdoor pools, relax in their hot tubs, try out the Adventure Oasis pool with adult-sized water slide, or just float down the 250-foot lazy river. Visit us at oceanreefmyrtlebeach.com or call us at 1-866-935-0530 to learn more.
Hi, my name is Donald Kidwell, current owner of CrossFit Iron Mary's. After finding CrossFit in 2012, I lost 128 pounds. At CrossFit Iron Mary's, you're not a barcode, you're an actual person. Where you are now is not important. Where you want to be is. 3 locations to reach your fitness goals in Columbia: the Old Mill in Lexington, Trotter Road in West Columbia, and downtown near the Carolina Baseball Stadium. Check us out online at CrossFitIronMarys.com or give us a call at 803-414-9601. Set up your first set of free classes today at CrossFit Iron Mary's, 803-414-9601.
For more information about contests on this station, go to foxsportsradio1400.com/rules.
You're listening to Clemson Sports Talk with my dad, Lawton Swan, on Fox Sports Radio 1400 and on the iHeart Radio app.
No big music hits today. Zach's behind the board, getting him trained up and ready to go for the show tomorrow. Zach's going to be here in studio by himself. Hope you will join him and hang out with him. We got a couple of great guests lined up tomorrow, Zach.
Yeah,
Doing your thing.
Yeah, we do. We're going to have David Hale, arguably the most hated man on Twitter, covering the ACC for ESPN.
Right?
I mean, if you're a Clemson fan, you either love him or you hate him. The most famous thing he's known for is asking Dabo Swinney the Clemsoning question.
Oof.
After the Georgia Tech game 2 years ago.
How'd that go over? Remind us.
I was actually sitting right behind him when he asked that question. And, coming off the Georgia Tech game 2 years ago, when they're in the midst of the undefeated season, I think it was the fourth game of the season. They had just beaten Notre Dame, beaten Louisville, beat Georgia Tech. And David Hale, who, in his defense, okay, here's the question that he wanted to ask.
Zach defends David Hale here on Clemson Sports Talk.
Look, I'm a good friend with David Hale. I appreciate everything he does. Here's the question that he wanted to ask. What he was asking was, has Clemson finally put the Clemsoning to bed? Should it not even be a discussion? Well, Dabo had just heard earlier that day, apparently on game day, they had mentioned Clemsoning 3 or 4 times.
Can't mention Clemson.
Yeah, which kind of got him fired up. So all David Hale had to say was Clemsoning, and Dabo went off on him. And you've probably all seen the clips of it. I mean,
spectacular.
It's great. I honestly was cowering a little bit in my seat because I was sitting right behind David, and the glare from Dabo was coming through him into me. So, it was quite scary. We're also going to have Jadar Johnson on, New York Giant.
Local product out of Harrisburg, South Carolina.
Exactly. So we're going to have him on tomorrow night. So, yeah, we're going to have a good time. We're going to have a good time.
Yeah,
well, in your absence, and I'm going to bring you some eggs.
Well, the wife I thought would go negative on the eggs.
Yes.
And I mentioned it to her while you were on the phone with me earlier, and she was positive about the eggs. She doesn't like duck eggs, apparently.
Yeah, well, nobody likes duck eggs.
She says they're bigger and just more awkward. I don't really know much about it.
I want to get your thoughts on something.
Okay.
All right, so the Golden Nugget, not talking about eggs, but out in Vegas, just released today their opening lines for the football season. And much to my surprise, the Clemson Tigers are favored in every single game except one, that game being a pick'em against Louisville. But some of these lines, some of these lines are a little bit head-scratching.
Okay.
Head-scratching. So I want to kind of go through these and get your thoughts on them. All right, so the opening game that they gave a line for is Auburn. Clemson -5. Like it? Yay or nay?
I think that's for my comfort zone right now, it's a bit much. I could see it being Clemson -5 if the Tigers go out and look really good against Kent State in the opener.
Yep.
I tend to put that game closer to 3.5. Clemson. I do favor Clemson to win, though.
So basically what you're saying is a neutral site game, these two teams are evenly matched because they give 3 points to the home team.
Yes, I think they're pretty evenly matched because I can't tell you whether or not I trust Clemson's offense without Deshaun Watson yet. I will know. I will have a definitive feeling one way or the other. I might favor Auburn by 1 after watching this against Kent State. But right now, I think that's a bit of a push. I mean,
okay. Well, let's go back. Let's go back to Kent State. Let's go back to Kent State.
Okay.
All right. So when you're sitting here right now on June 22nd, what would it take? What kind of offensive output? Because, look, we all know Dabo Swinney, right?
Sure.
We all know that he's not going to go out there and beat a team 70-0.
No, 42 points.
42 is what you're looking for.
Yeah, I need to get about 40. I need to see 28-31 at the half and then cruise it on in. That would make me feel pretty good.
And so then you would feel better.
5 points, yeah, I'd feel good about being at home. All those factors, I would go, I'm confident with the offense. I have too much hesitation about this offense right now.
Louisville, next game.
Yeah.
Pick 'em. You know what? I'm in the middle of a series right now that you can read where I'm breaking down a way too early look at the opponents. Louisville lost a lot. They lost a ton.
Well, and Clemson played so well outside of a couple of plays against Lamar Jackson last season as well. And with Clemson's defensive front, that kind of makes you feel pretty good that the Tigers should be able to control the line of scrimmage against the most dynamic playmaker in college football.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Over the last 3 games of the season last year, did Lamar Jackson look like the most dynamic player in college football? In 3 losses. In the 3 losses to Houston, where Ed Oliver, I mean, he was a one-man wrecking crew in that game. Then you go to Kentucky, where he strikes the Heisman pose in the end zone, and then
that didn't go over well.
Yeah, and then proceeds to lose the game for them.
Then the LSU bowl game.
Yeah, where they scored a whopping 9 points.
Well, you know, Zach, I've said for a while, if his season had played out in reverse, if you started his year with a matchup against LSU, the first 3 games, he would have never been in the conversation for the Heisman Trophy at the end of the year.
Well, and look, I was a big proponent that he should not have won the Heisman Trophy. And look, not because Deshaun should have won it, even though he should have, but because when you looked at the plays that Bobby Petrino left him in for and the games that he was left in to run up the score, I mean, it was ridiculous. I think 3/4 of his stats and points came in mop-up duty.
Sure.
Anyway, moving on.
Yep.
Moving on. Clemson. This was one I was a little bit surprised with. Clemson -7 at Virginia Tech. Clemson -7.
That's a lot of. I mean, it's a lot of points on the road. Yeah.
In Blacksburg.
But you know, I think there are questions there without Gerard
Evans,
quarterback.
Bucky Hodges.
Big questions.
Bucky Hodges is gone. I mean,
we laughed the other day. We had to laugh. You weren't here for this. We were talking about Clemson and Virginia Tech. Remember when Clemson ran the cover 11? Nobody blitzed. And was it Bucky Hodges?
Yeah, it was Bucky Hodges.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, so but 7 points on the road.
That's a lot,
with a team, that you haven't beaten up there in I don't know how long.
Well, you got to go back to what, 2011?
No, that was the last time they played up there, but they didn't beat them up there.
No, yeah, with
Yep.
Taj Boyd.
Yeah, you're right.
The ACC championship year.
Yep. Yeah, 2011.
Yeah, 2011, I think it was.
So, I mean, that's a lot of points. So that one had me a little bit, squirrely.
All right, give me the Florida State. What they got? I got to hear this one.
You want Florida State? Clemson -2.
This would be the second outfit that's come out and had Clemson favored in every game except for Louisville. You said Louisville's a pick 'em.
Yeah, Louisville's a pick 'em. So Clemson is not an underdog.
This is the second Vegas
That
book.
tells you something, doesn't it?
It does, because those guys.
I mean, look, Vegas knows what they're doing. They're not stupid. They're not about losing money out there.
Yeah, if they were about losing money, we'd all be out there this weekend.
Exactly. So does that tell you something about Clemson?
Yeah, I think it tells you they really believe in this defense. I think that's one thing for sure.
All right, real quick.
All right, you got another one?
Real quick.
Gamecocks on there?
Gamecocks are on here. What I want your what do you think? What if you're picking right now?
Carolina fans are going to hate me. Clemson -12.
12? Ooh, 10.
Okay.
10.
Mine's 10.
Here's the thing. Did Clemson not just beat Carolina by 49 points?
They did.
And I know, look, I know Carolina fans. They love to go, well, you know what? But when you played us down there in 2015, you only won by, what was it?
It's 5 or 7
points.
or whatever it was.
Yeah, but that's because Deshaun Watson and the rest of the offense was over there celebrating with 3 minutes to go in the game. I mean, they were on the sideline celebrating. But here's the thing. Is Carolina within 10 points of Clemson?
I would think not.
I don't think so.
Not right now, no.
Honestly, I think never again is going to happen again. I'm not saying that they're going to beat them by 49 points, but, I don't see how Carolina can keep this thing within 21 points.
I think it'll be tough for the Gamecocks, that's for sure. Hour number 2, Clemson Sports Talk. We will keep you updated on the NBA draft as it happened. Is Zach Lentz sitting across from me? I'm Lawton Swan. Stay with us.
Lawton Swan here, and I know in sports we're always talking about the big guy. Well, let me tell you, when you're buying a car, you don't need that. What you need to do is head down to Orangeburg to my good friends at Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac. 4 generations of family-owned business right there at Ferry Chevrolet. No dock fees, no tricks, straightforward pricing in a low-pressure environment you'll love. Check them out online, ferrychevrolet.com, or call them 803-536-1600. It's Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac, just a short 30-minute drive off of exit 145A in Orangeburg.
Attention, anyone who's suffering from lower back pain. Right now, HealthSource is offering our listeners an absolutely free back pain consultation on a first-come, first-served basis by calling 803-218-9047. Our doctors can find the root cause of your lower back pain and show you how to get well fast and stay well longer. No more pain. No more feeling worn out. Essentially, no more not feeling like yourself. Call 803-218-9047.
Business owners, time's running out. If your business caters to the bridal market and you want to get in front of hundreds of new clients in just one afternoon, then you need to be part of the 104.7 WNOK Carolina Bridal Showcase on July 16th. Meet face-to-face with engaged couples, book business on the spot, and network with other wedding pros at the largest bridal event in the area. Showcase your business in front of the clients you're looking for. 104.7 WNOK's Carolina Bridal Showcase, July 16th at the Columbia Metropolitan Convention Center. Presented by Carolina Bride Magazine, American Floral, Columbia Bridal Associates, and Costco Productions. Reserve your space today at BrideCityShows.com.
Are you a business owner looking to add high-quality staff members? ProRecruits.net is the answer. Here's why ProRecruits.net is better than their competition. ProRecruits.net will guarantee their sales hires for 6 months, or they will replace them for free. ProRecruits.net is also locally owned and has lower pricing compared to the typical new hire contingency fees in the industry. ProRecruits.net offers a tremendous value for your recruiting dollars. Call Chris today at 704-737-9970 and let ProRecruits.net help your business grow.
Columbia Office Furniture is the destination for quality new or used office furniture. Preview thousands of new quick ship desks, chairs, workstations, file cabinets, bookcases, conference room furniture, and more at COFSC.com. Then visit our 12,000 square foot showroom at 301 Greystone Boulevard to see, sit in, touch, and feel actual samples before you buy, or browse our huge selection of quality used office furniture. And we offer layout and design services as well as installation. Visit COFSC.com today. Columbia Office Furniture. We furnish solutions.
With the AutoZone Rewards program, the parts and supplies you need come with a reward. So let's get excited and celebrate. Add a fist pump to that oil change. Whoop it up while you wash and wax. Finish that tune-up by giving yourself a high five. Because you're earning a $20 reward when you spend $20 5 times. So sign up online or in-store. Let's get you what you need.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
So I'm a cat, and I just moved in with this new human. And she's got this little toy she's always playing with, all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week, she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
From the E.F. Martin Heating and Air Studios, this is Fox Sports Radio 1400.
WCOS Columbia.
Available anywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app.
Legends have given you the blueprint.
I practice as if I'm playing in a game. So when the moment comes in the game, it's not new to me.
You've witnessed their moments.
LeBron, he takes a fadeaway for the win. Hey! Knocked it down!
Back to Durant, loads up a three. Got another one!
Moments cemented in time.
Jordan, open! Chicago with the lead!
These legends have done the impossible.
Bryant has to put it up at the buzzer. Banks it in! Oh! It went in! A three-quarter shot by Curry!
And tonight, 60 young men look to become legends.
Anything's possible! Here we go!
Yeah.
Now, your team is on the clock.
The Philadelphia 76ers select.
And our team is here to break it all down. Live from the Geico Studios of Fox Sports Radio.
It's time for Clemson Sports Talk with Lawton Swan.
Ready, set! Just call me Swanee.
Tiger style. Tiger style.
It is hour number 2. That's prime time right here on Fox Sports Radio and iHeart Radio. Lawton Swan, Zach Lentz in studio with us. 803-978-1832. 803-978-1832. The hashtag on Twitter, CST Show, the NBA Draft underway. Zach, before they get to the first pick, which I'm sure will take a few minutes, we talked about Jerron Blossom game. We talked about Sindarius Thornwell. The last guy I want to talk about here on the program tonight, P.J. Dozier, former South Carolina guard, 5-star. He was a McDonald's All-American. I remember watching this kid coming up here in the Midlands playing, and of course his father and uncle were both stars at South Carolina. I think of the three guys, he has the highest ceiling in the NBA. I think that he has the ability to be a legitimate player in the NBA. He's young. He's still got a chance to develop. He's a rangy guard. I think projects to be a pretty good point guard at some point down the line. I think he's still got some growing up to do and some maturing to do, obviously, but I like him. And you talked about if you're looking at a guy like Jerron Blossom game versus a guy over in Europe, I kind of feel the same way about Dozier, and I think he has that benefit is that I think people will look at him and go, he's still young, very talented. Let's give him a chance to develop and see what he can become in a guard-oriented league. I think he'll go higher. I think he'll go higher than both Sindarius and Jerron Blossom game tonight.
Yeah, well, I don't have a whole lot that can really go against what you're saying. I mean, I think that when you look at him, he's got the height at 6'7".
Yep.
He's also got the wingspan. I mean, I think his wingspan is like 6'11".
Yeah, he's
20 years old. Like you said, I mean,
he's got what they're looking for.
Exactly. And for people that are going, well, what's the difference in 20 and 22? It's a big difference. I mean, that's an extra 2 years of banging on your body, of the wear and tear on your body that goes into a season. And so, PJ Dozier, I don't know that he'll go ahead of Sindarius Thornwell. I think they're kind of neck and neck in every draft that I've seen. Sindarius may go 46 or 47, and Dozier goes 50 or 51, and then they flip. But there's your boy right there.
He's going to be a Laker. I got a bad feeling about that.
Yeah, that's your boy.
Yeah,
Lonzo Ball.
The unmentionable father. We do not say his name here on the air, Zach. That's rule 1. I'll have to run over there and hit the dump button myself.
I think the thing that is going to maybe shy teams away from taking Dozier as high as they would like is if he's going to be in a guard-oriented offense, he's got to be able to shoot the three, and that was not his strong suit. this season. I mean, he was a slasher. He could get to the rim, but in the NBA, the big guys, unless you're Dwight Howard, they can play defense. And so,
sorry, Dwight, if you're listening. Dwight's friend probably called him and said, "You ought to listen to these two yahoos on Fox Sports Radio and iHeart Radio in Columbia tonight, wrecking you."
Yeah, but I think he's gonna have to improve his shooting behind the arc. But if he does that, like you say, I think he can have a more successful career than either of those other two, simply because of his age. And there's something to be said for young, talented players. And, like I went back to before, Frank Martin has credibility in the NBA as being able to develop talent.
Sure.
And being able to develop young players. So I think, P.J. Dozier. But let's kind of back up and take a step back. Okay? I want to know, would you have ever thought that we would be at the place where 3 potential players from the state of South Carolina in Jerron Blossom game, P.J. Dozier and Sedarius Thornwell, could all be taken in the NBA draft in the first 2 rounds? I can't remember the state of basketball in South Carolina being this good.
That's a valid point. You're right on that front, Zach. You've got to probably go back to the 80s when when the Cavaliers, golly, I'm thinking about the NBA. You got to go back to the 80s when Clemson had guys like Eldon and Dale Davis and Horace Grant.
Yeah,
but I don't know enough about what South Carolina had.
But not in a 1-year period. Not at one time.
Right.
Where you're all,
3 potential draft picks. Well, that's because neither school's really held up either end of the bargain for a lot of the time. That's going to be honest with you. 803-978-1832. 803-978-1832. The hashtag on Twitter, CST Show, and you can follow the program at Clemson Sports. Clemson news, notes, information, and more 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Again, the NBA draft just getting underway, and we will absolutely keep you updated on how that plays out. We're going to send it over to the phone lines real quick here on Fox Sports Radio and iHeart Radio. Caller, go ahead. What's on your mind?
Hey, Lawton.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, I didn't hear you pick up here. I was wanting to chime in on this Dwight Howard business and give you some information. What's happened to him through the years. It's lack of skill that's caught up with him.
Okay.
He's just a big guy that's very athletic, and but he doesn't lack any skills like dribble, passing, or shooting. And his 21 points a game in whatever year that was that Zach was reading, I guarantee you, 15, 16 of them are off offensive rebounds. The guy's a beast under the boards, but he has no post moves, 6 to 8 feet from the basket. You almost don't even have to guard him. You just buck up against him and just keep pushing him out. But he's just so big and strong that's what's gotten him through.
Let me ask you this: in the the annals of the NBA, why hasn't there been a guy that's been able to coach him up? I mean, is it just you just purely think he's just a big kid and he just can't develop at all?
Well, I mean, think about the size of him, and as big and strong as he is, he's the fluidity of your shot and things. Look at like Shaq. I mean, Shaq couldn't shoot a free throw to save his life. I don't even know why they sent him to the line.
Right.
They should have just given the ball to the other team and just kept on playing. But at least Shaq could back up to the basket, play with his back to the basket. I think that's what it was. He was just so big when he was younger, and nobody taught him any skills. I mean, look back at like Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Bill Russell. Those guys were taught how to play basketball. But, I mean, think about it. They still weren't as big as he is. Dwight Howard's huge.
Yeah.
He could be playing in the NFL probably if he wanted to.
Man, he would be a heck of a tight end at 6'10".
Yeah,
that's for sure.
No joke. Throwing to him.
You just put it in the end zone, he'll get it.
Long.
I hear you. Hey, appreciate the phone call and the insight. All right, take care. Thank you. 803-978-1832 is the number if you want to participate with us. Zach Lentz in studio, Lawton Swan. Zach will be here tomorrow. Again, the NBA draft getting underway tonight. I mean, that's a valid point. Maybe Kwame Brown is a guy that never really developed. I think we can all admit Kwame never really amounted to much of anything in the NBA. He had some moments here and there, a good game or two, but all in all, for a number 1 draft pick, he never really produced. Maybe Dwight Howard's just a little bit better version of a Kwame Brown. A little more athletic version of a Kwame Brown.
I have a hard time thinking that Dwight Howard is that. I mean, to me, he's a big guy.
Well, he won the dunk contest, twice?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not saying that means anything, but he's got to have some athleticism.
He's a big guy. But you know what? The dunk contest, give me Muggsy Bogues in a dunk contest.
You want the here he is. 5'7". Zach Lynch wants 5'3" Muggsy Bogues in the dunk contest.
That's right. That's impressive. Someone that's 6'11" or 6'8", 6'10". I mean, that's not impressive.
Right.
You should be able to dunk. But
you want the shortest guy.
That's right.
You still love Spud Webb.
I want Spud Webb. Give me Muggsy Bogues. Give me a little Boogie McIntyre.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's right. I went there.
Ooh.
I went there.
Boogie could get up, man. Oh.
Yeah. Give me a little Boogie.
I had a guy post on social media the other day. By the way, you can join the conversation, ClemsonSportsTalk.com. Click Join the Conversation to be a part of our Slack channel. It's great mobile access as well. And he said, in today's NBA, a guy like a guy like Terrell McIntyre may have been valued more than he was when Terrell McIntyre came out. And when you think about the league right now and the fluidity on the perimeter, it makes sense. We've talked about how it's a much more guard-oriented game. Well, if you've got a guy that can control the basketball, if you've got a guy that can shoot the three, like little Isaiah Thomas for the Boston Celtics right now, maybe if Terrell McIntyre had been 20 years younger, he may be a kid who could have found his way into the NBA because people wouldn't have judged him on, oh, well, he's only 5'9". They may have given him a chance.
Yeah, well, that's a generous 5'9", I think. Yeah. When you're, but you're exactly right. I mean, I think that the NBA has shifted. It went from being a power league to a finesse league, and it's cyclical. I mean, it's the exact same thing that the NFL's gone through and college football. I mean, everything is cyclical.
Sure.
So, would it have been? But yes, I think Dwight Howard is not that impressive when you look at what he should have accomplished, and I just don't see him being that athletic. I mean, to me, he's big. He can run the floor, but you know what? What does that get you?
Yeah. Well, this is where I feel like if you could get effort, hustle.
Yeah, but did you ever see that out of him? No, because when he was with the Lakers, that's what made him one of the most hated players on the entire Laker team.
You're right.
Was his lack of effort. I mean, how many times did Kobe come out publicly and rail on Dwight Howard?
You're right.
And his effort.
You're right. And I mean, you can't question Kobe's effort.
No.
I mean, you really can't. And I think about, there was a game, I think, when Shaquille O'Neal turned 25, maybe. Could have been when he turned 30. One of those birthdays. He was with the Los Angeles Lakers. And I remember that game. He ran the floor the whole night.
Mm-hmm.
He played defense hard the whole night. He scored like 70 points. I mean, he was just a monster. And I thought to myself, man, if he played like that every night, he could probably do that. But he couldn't. He'd probably play 3 years in the league and be done. He'd wear himself out. He just would be putting himself through such a grind. But all in all, I think you're right on Dwight Howard. He's just never given that the effort. I mean, when he went to Atlanta, like I said to Tom's friend, you go to your home city.
If there's any place
where you should pour it out,
yep,
it was in your hometown.
Yeah, and I mean, look, I understand that apparently the person that was with Clemson, Tom, was a friend of Dwight Howard, or is a friend of Dwight Howard. And so, you kind of understand that he's going to take his side. He's going to give the excuse. And look, they're valid points, okay? It is a team game. There are other players on the floor. He can't do everything by himself. But I think to a man, every person that watched Dwight Howard play has said, I don't get it out of him. I don't get the want to, the desire, the passion. So, that's why he's bounced around.
I mean, you're in L.A., you've got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar there to work with you if you want. I mean, do you think it's that difficult to get Magic Johnson to make a phone call to Kareem and say, "Hey, Kareem, come work with me. I want to add a sky hook to my game, whatever." You're in Houston. You think you can't get Akeem Olajuwon?
Yeah. In
Olajuwon to come in there.
Atlanta, you get Dikembe Mutombo. I mean, come on. I mean, there are opportunities if he wanted to get better and become the dominant player that he should have been.
You would think so, man. You really would. 803-978-1832, the NBA draft tonight. We've got our eyeballs on that.
Yep.
But it was a little over a week ago, I guess, or about a week or so ago, the Major League Baseball draft took place, and it was announced today that Clemson Tiger Chase Pender has signed with the St. Louis Cardinals. A $300,000 contract was signed on Thursday. Pender was drafted in the 7th round of value, slotted back in 2014 at $190,000. So he makes a little bit more money, but I'm assuming because he could have returned.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's got a little weight there.
That's the negotiation part.
Well, and here's the question. Do you think, not that it was a good move for him to leave, but $300,000 is good money, but that's not life-changing money. It can certainly help. It's a great start. Could you come back and earn life-changing money? Is Chase Pender a guy that
Chase
could have
Pender,
come back?
no.
So you take what you can get.
Yeah, exactly. I think, Chase Pender probably capped as the best he was going to do this season. I mean, even if he came back next year, you've got to look at who's coming out.
Yeah.
And you've got another guy on your team that is an outfielder who's moving to left field, who is arguably going to be the number 1 pick in the entire draft, in Seth Beer.
Sure.
And while Pender's numbers were good this year, I mean, you saw what happened to Beer this year. His numbers dropped. So I think Pender, did the right thing. He used his position as a junior and leveraged it into getting a little bit more cash.
And if people don't understand that, let's put yourself in the situation of the St. Louis Cardinals for a second. Your choice is A, not do what this kid wants, and he goes back to college, and you get nothing for the 7th round pick, or B, you pay him what he's asking as long as you believe it's reasonable, and you get to keep the kid that you want. So if you're thinking, well, how does he have negotiation weight at all in this situation? It's simple. St. Louis wants value out of the 7th round selection that they made. And believe you me, with the contracts that the major leaguers are getting, paying Chase Pender $300,000 to come out of college and get into their farm system is not a hefty sum. They don't bat an eye at that. He goes, well, I'll sign for $300,000. They probably looked at their books and said, that's 110 more than we were, probably slotted to give away there. We'll do it. Sure. Here you go. Take the money. So, again, for Chase Pender, like you said, Zach, he had the negotiation leverage. He took advantage of it and parlayed that into a pretty decent payday. I mean, that's a great down payment and a great start for your future, and you'll earn money playing baseball.
If someone offered me $300,000 to play baseball, I'd probably take it.
Oh, yeah, sure. I would, too.
Probably would.
I mean, the only way I wouldn't was if I felt like if I came back another year, and that's why I broached the question, can he improve his stock? And as a senior, you feel like no, because he loses the negotiation at that point. So for Clemson, a little shift there with Chase Pender, and I believe there are several other guys still that have not decided what they're going to do yet.
Alex Eubanks actually signed today.
Okay.
Yeah, so he signed, got a tweet from his dad saying that he signed today. So, a lot of life-changing things going on right now.
Sure, absolutely. Did you get a value on that, or do you know
did
that
not.
Yet? Have not?
I did not.
Zach Lentz in the studio with us. About 3 segments left here on Clemson Sports Talk on Fox Sports Radio and iHeart Radio. Stay with us.
custom shirts, hats, or uniforms? How about promotional giveaways for your business or organization? Need fast turnaround times? Look no further than Meridian Printing and Promotions. Located in Lexington, they provide an in-house art department, in-house screen printing, and in-house embroidery services to the Midlands and beyond. For the absolute best quality products and services, contact Meridian Printing and Promotions, 785-4990. Check them out online, mbspromo.com.
For 28 years, the professional staff of the Hobbs Group and Hobbs Group Advisors has been dedicated to helping others achieve their financial goals by delivering quality, objective financial and accounting solutions to a diverse client base of individuals and businesses all over South Carolina. We offer tax and audit services, bookkeeping, payroll, litigation support, employee benefits, personal financial planning, investment management, and insurance services. Please call us at 803-799-0555 or visit our website, hobbscpa.com, to learn more about our people and services.
Tiger fans, look no further than the Tiger Sports Shop in Clemson for all your game day gear. Since 1974, they've brought you everything Clemson for the Clemson fan, with quality brand names such as Nike, Under Armour, Antigua, Ping, and many more. From hats to t-shirts to tailgate, the Tiger Sports Shop has all the Clemson apparel a true Tiger fan needs. With 2 convenient game day locations in Tigertown, shop where I shop at I Am Ibrahim's Tiger Sports Shop. They fuel the passion of Tiger fans everywhere. Check them out online, tigersports.com.
Stay on top of today's pop culture. Ace and TJ Mornings and today's hit music all day on 104.7 WNOK.
Clemson Sports Talk, Fox Sports Radio, iHeart Radio, and live on YouTube as well. You can watch on ClemsonSportsTalk.com. Zach Lentz in studio with us here. The NBA draft getting set. We'll keep you in tune with that. Of course, we were talking a little Clemson Tiger baseball moments ago as it was announced that Chase Pender had signed his contract with the St. Louis Cardinals. So some changes coming forward there for Monty Lee's ball club. And, of course, earlier in the show, we talked about the NBA draft. We talked about Clemson and Vegas odds favoring the Tigers in every game except for Louisville, where they were a pick-em on the road. And we had Clemson Tom swing by, and also apparently Dwight Howard's best buddy came on the program with us. So it's been a busy day.
Yeah, you know, I want to get to something, though, that we were talking about off air. Okay? A tweet was sent out by NCAA football, one of the NCAA football entities, stating that not only does Clemson have the best defensive front line in college football this year, but that in Dexter Lawrence and Christian Wilkins, they may have the best defensive tackle combo to ever play the game. Agree or disagree?
This is where these get tough.
To ever play the game.
Right. This is where it gets really tough for me because I've got to really start racking through my brains and start thinking, okay, well, when Warren Sapp is at Miami, who's opposite of Warren Sapp? When Mount Cody is at Alabama, who's opposite of Mount Cody? There always seems to be like one guy that I can think of. When William Perry is on the interior defensive front for Clemson, who was opposite Perry? And so there's that aspect of it. There's also the other side of that coin. How is it affected by teams that play like a 3-4 defense versus a 4-3 defense and things like that? So when you've got just 3 down linemen, you don't have a combo of defensive tackles. You've got a nose guard there. And Nikita Whitlock was a heck of a nose guard, but he's never going to be on any combo list, even though he did play it at Wake Forest. He was a little wrecking ball of a menace there. I could see, as a matter of fact, somebody like a Christian Wilkins in a 3-4 scheme being that wrecking ball destroyer in the middle. Nonetheless, I don't know enough about other great combos to say. I really don't.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe I'm just
but does that not say something to the fact that Clemson has two of these great, and I'm doing air quotes,
right?
Okay, for all of you that can't see. I'm doing air quotes. But this great defensive tackles, generally you hear of one. Generally you hear of one great tackle and one defensive end.
That's what I was going to say.
But 2 defensive tackles. I mean, you were mentioning the tweet that I sent out. I mean, just of Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah, that was a crazy photo of Dexter Lawrence. Zach put it out on social media, and I retweeted it for sure, so it's out there. And
I mean,
Lawrence looks like he's 7 feet in the air.
Yeah, I mean, but this is where we're at with this Clemson defense.
Well, you mentioned defensive end and defensive tackle combos. Like I think of Montravius Adams and Carl Lawson.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you do. You think of Grady Jarrett. You think of Vic Beasley. I mean, you can go around and start thinking. Florida State has had some really good interior defensive linemen in the past 10, 15 years. I can't think of all the names right now, but did they have a 1-2 punch defensive tackle combo that was like that? And there have been teams that have had 2 defensive ends that have been monsters.
But I mean, 2 defensive tackles. I don't know.
Well, think about a couple of years ago. Clemson had Kevin Dodd and Vic Beasley, and Clemson had Kevin Dodd
Shaq
and
Lawson.
Shaq Lawson.
Yeah.
And those 2 guys were 1 and 2 in the country in tackles for loss.
Yep.
And that's a pretty unique statistic, I would believe. I don't know that how many times in the past 10 or 15 years we'd have to go back and look, but have teammates led the nation in tackles for loss.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a unique statistical category.
It is. And so I was going down, and while we were trying to research, these great defensive tackles, Campus Insiders came out with their list of the top 10 defensive tackles for this year. Okay. So I thought, naturally,
they're both going to be there.
We should know who's going to be number 1 and number 2 on this list.
Yeah.
Nay, I say, as to the fact that not only are they not number 1 and number 2 on this list, one of the players is not even on the list. Christian Wilkins did not even make the top 10 of the defensive tackles returning this year.
Okay, so number 1 is Ed Oliver.
Yeah, which
I'm guessing.
Number 1 is Ed Oliver, which I don't agree with at all.
Is Lawrence 2?
Yes. Dexter Lawrence is number 2. Here's why I don't agree with Ed Oliver. Houston didn't play anybody. And look,
outside of Oklahoma, but
okay, but this is the thing. This is the reason I say they didn't play anybody. And it's the same reason that when Boise State was griping and complaining they should have been playing the national championships and all this stuff, every team can get up for one game. Every team can get up for one game.
Sure.
But if Houston had to play Florida State, Ohio State, Alabama, go down the list, Auburn last year, would he have been as good?
They beat Louisville too. They beat Louisville too.
Well, we've already discussed Louisville and what we think about it.
We did.
But here's the thing. Dexter Lawrence, number 2.
Is Rashawn Gary on the list? That was my next question.
Rashawn Gary is not on the list.
The reason I asked that question is we just talked about how these 2 guys are freakish interior defensive linemen, and you were about a smidgen away from maybe having Rashawn Gary be a part of this rotation in 2017. I mean, when Rashawn Gary picked up the Michigan hat, I thought his mom was going to pass out right there. She looked like
she was not happy.
She was not satisfied with that.
She was not happy. No, Mama was not happy on that.
And you know what, Mama? You'd have a national championship at your house right now for your son if he'd have come to Clemson, by the way.
That's right, instead of a khaki-wearing rapper. But here's the thing.
Fantastic.
Yeah, you can tweet that. Here's the thing. When I think of Dexter Lawrence and Christian Wilkins, and then give me Austin Bryant, give me Xavier Kelly.
Yeah.
I don't know how teams expect to not just run the ball on this defense, but pass the ball. Because the pass rush that these guys are going to be able to get is going to be scary.
Let me refresh my memory, Zach, because my brain, it gets – Shaq Lawson and Kevin Dodd didn't have to go pro, right? They both left early. Both of them left early last year.
Yes. Yeah, so you – okay, yeah, let's rehash that.
Right.
Let's go back last year. Imagine if you had Kevin Dodd, Shaq Lawson, Dexter Lawrence, Christian Wilkins.
Oh, it's just sick. There's so much. Cleveland Farrell.
Austin Brown. Yeah, Cleveland Farrell. There's another guy.
That's kind of unfair.
Here's the thing that if I'm Brent Venables,
he may not be as good as I think. he may just have a ton of talent.
Here's the reason that if I'm Brent Venables, I'm not losing any sleep, is because you know how he likes to dial up the blitzes.
Mm-hmm.
He likes to bring pressure from different places.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to this year. He may not have to, but when he does, he can do it knowing that those guys up front are going to open up holes.
803-978-1832. Zach Lentz in studio joining us here on the program. He'll be hosting the show tomorrow solo. No Lowell the intern tomorrow. Lowell will be doing his day job as he's trying to get a full-time gig a-rolling. The NBA draft coming up. They've been teasing it for 30 minutes. It's the only show I've ever seen that's supposed to start at 7 but will not kick off until 7:30. Putting in a little talking point note over on our Slack channel here. You got me thinking a little bit, Zach, about this Clemson Tiger
it's always a good thing.
Football team. Who's the player that Clemson, at the end of this year, the Clemson Tiger fans will go, yeah, you know what? I was kind of surprised at that guy. I was kind of surprised. Like, this kid surprised me with how good he was in 2017. We talk a lot about, who are they going to miss the most, blah, 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 blah. But who's that kid that's going to surprise you? We'll talk maybe a little bit about that when we get back. Plus, we'll get some of your thoughts. And Zach might touch on it tomorrow. And, of course, we've got a caller on hold we'll get to after the break. 803-978-1832. Clemson Sports Talk, Fox Sports Radio, and iHeart Radio. Stay with us.
So many music apps out there. Ever wonder which one is the best? It's iHeartRadio. Not because we say so, because you do.
iHeartRadio!
iHeartRadio is the #1 rated music app in America. It's the only one with live radio, artist stations, and an unlimited selection of music. All in one app. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free. Download the free iHeartRadio app or listen at iHeartRadio.com.
Hi, I'm Alicia Kaufman-Quinton. My daddy, Billy Kaufman, opened Kaufman's Meat Plant at our present location in 1955. My family still works hard every day to ensure fresh quality cuts of beef, pork, and poultry. How about a tasty T-bone, ribeye, or New York strip steak? But to order at Kaufman's Meat and Place. Just look for the signs near the intersection of US 1 and I-20 in Lexington. Call us at 356-0076 to place your order. Kaufman's Meat and Place, when you want the very best your money can buy.
When a stroke happens, every second counts. So don't drive and call 911 to get to the emergency department as soon as possible. At Lexington Medical Center, we're pleased to serve our community. As a certified primary stroke center, our acute stroke team rapidly evaluates patients and provides them with the fastest treatment possible. This specialized care limits the chance of brain damage and gives stroke patients a better chance of full recovery. Act quickly at the first sign of a stroke and count on the Stroke Center at Lexington Medical Center to provide you with the best possible care.
Do you want a pharmacy that treats you like a person and not just a number? Then let Craig and Lori at Southlake Drug show you what a pharmacy should be. Fast, friendly, and professional. Southlake Drug can transfer your prescriptions and take the hassle out of getting your medicine and getting you on your way. Southlake Drug takes all major insurance programs, including Medicare, Medicaid, and state employees, and they provide immunization services, including flu shots with no wait and no appointment. Southlake Drug, 1856 Southlake Drive in the Food Line Shopping Center, 399-7701, or southlakedrug.com. Cottingham Family Dentistry is proud to announce the opening of their new office located at 3722 Devine Street, and they're welcoming new patients. What makes Cottingham Family Dentistry different? It's in the name family. They will cater to your needs and the dental needs of your children. Cottingham Family Dentistry offers same-day crowns, dental implants, cosmetic dentistry including whitening, veneers, and tooth-colored fillings, and many other dental services. If you're searching for an amazing dental home, call 776-4234 or stop by their new office at 3722 Devine Street and become a part of the family at Cottingham Family Dentistry.
From the Two Men in a Truck, Movers Who Care Weather Center, shaping up to be a mild and muggy night with a few lingering showers and thunderstorms possible. Low temperatures in the mid-70s. On Friday, we turn up the heat. Partly sunny skies, highs low to mid-90s. Slight chance for a shower or storm. For Channel 25, ABC Columbia, I'm meteorologist Greg Armbrecht.
This report is brought to you by Fred Anderson Toyota of Columbia.
Get family pricing at Fred Anderson Toyota of Columbia. Buy 2017 Camrys and RAV4s with 0 APR for 72 months. Plus our family plan. Fred Anderson Toyota of Columbia.
Excludes TTL and includes $398 closing fee, $0 approved credit based on $13.89 per thousand finance. Welcome back to Clemson Sports Talk. Join the show in the chat room at clemsonsportstalk.com.
Shaking the Southland weeknights, Fox Sports Radio and iHeart Radio. Lawton Swan on Twitter at Clemson Sports, the website clemsonsportstalk.com. You want to make sure you go over there right now and, of course, join the conversation. I think that the way we're doing our new interactive sports chat network, whatever you want to call it, both during the show and during the day, I think it's really going to change the game. And listen, you're tech-savvy people. I know this. You're a podcast listener, some of you. That means you listen when you want to listen. It's DVR for your sports talk radio, and you do that. You listen on the iHeart Radio app. You do that. You've got the Clemson Sports Talk app. And I know you're looking at your phone, and you're probably going, well, if it's an app, where am I going to put it? But not only is it an app that you can get called Slack, but you can get to that point later, but it's also on your computer, and it's great. I see Zach over there all the time tickling the keys, chatting with people, doing all kind of stuff. So, Zach, what do you think? I mean, Slack was not a format that you were overly familiar with.
No, it wasn't, and it's incredibly easy. It's a very easy format to use. It's an easy, download, click, point. I mean, it's a no-brainer. It is the future of message boards.
I think it is. I think I agree with you, man. I think it is the future of message boards. O-Line is on the line, peeking over the fence at the Hurry Up No Huddle Sports Talk Express. O-Line, what's going on, buddy? Uh-oh. Do we got you, O-Line?
What's going on, Lawton?
Hey, not O-Line. What's up, man?
What's going on?
I thought it was O-Line. I thought it was O-Line. You were so loud when you called in earlier. O-Line's typically the only person I hear across the room. That's my fault.
I mean, at the end of the day, don't get me wrong. We both Carolina fans. He's just the wrong color Carolina.
Okay, I got you. He's more of the Garnet perspective.
He's the second-rate Carolina, and I take the first-class Carolina. It is what it is.
Boy, this is going to go over well.
Some people like second class. It is what it is. I prefer first class.
What's going on, man? What's on your mind?
I just called to stir the pot a little bit. There's two things I want to get off my chest tonight. Number one, I love the football talk because I'm going to go ahead and just break it down for you. You heard it here first. I don't think the Clemson Tigers miss a beat next year. I think defensively they're going to be solid and be good. And I'll go ahead and tell you, the player that you're going to talk the most about at the end of next year is the quarterback and Bryant, and that you haven't missed a step with his ability to get out of the pocket, run, and his ability to swing it downfield. I like Bryant. You heard it here first. Outsider looking in. I'm not a Clemson fan. I could care less about Bryant, but I like him. I'd take him tomorrow at Chapel Hill and tell you that our offense won't miss a beat with him. That's how good I think he is and how good he'll be at Clemson. And my second thing is this NBA draft. And there's a bunch of kids, and I'm just going to go ahead and drop the gauntlet. South Carolina and Clemson have a bunch of youngins that don't need to go to that level yet, that could be superstars next year and first-round picks next year in the draft, and they're leaving. They're going to the NBA. Some of them won't be drafted. Have a good time in the European League or one and done in the NBA, because it's sad to see the Doziers of the world and some of these other kids think they're ready and they could be a first-round draft pick, but they won't take the time and they're going to get lost in the NBA.
Appreciate the phone call, Tar Hizzle, man. That's great insight there, and I'm glad we got a chance to whet your appetite a little bit about college football here on the show tonight as well. That's something that never seems to go away. So Tar Hizzle says he thinks Kelly Bryant will step right in at Clemson and the Tigers will not miss a beat. Good thoughts on the Tigers from a Tar Heel fan.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not as sold on Kelly Bryant as he is, but you know what? He could convince me. I mean, the passion was there. The passion was there.
I think we'd absolutely, as Clemson Tiger graduates and people that support Clemson, then we take that in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
You give me Kelly Bryant out in the open field, a la your boy Woody Dantzler from from Orangeburg.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, the only thing I think that scares me is Kelly Bryant has not shown the propensity to be able to sling the ball down the field. Now, you can say that part of that he hasn't had the opportunity to. I mean, the games that he came into were blowout games where Dabo Swinney is not going to throw the ball down the field. He's not going to stretch the field. And he was in there playing with second and third string offensive linemen and walk-on wide receivers. Now, in the spring game, he was playing on a split squad. And I said before the spring game, don't put any stock into what you see.
Right.
Because of that reason.
Well, you split that offense in two versus splitting that defense in two is really not fair.
Exactly.
By the way, Markelle Fultz goes first to the 76ers. Point guard out of Washington.
Poor fella. I feel sorry for him. I mean, look, I got to be honest with you. Do you think the NBA players or these draftees were sitting there kind of like some of the football players were going, God, if you're Cleveland, please don't draft me. Please don't draft me.
Maybe a little.
I mean,
maybe a little.
Are they gonna pull an Eli Manning
and refuse to play?
Yeah, refuse to play.
Listen, you know who else? You know who really started that was Kobe Bryant.
Yep.
I mean, Kobe Bryant is the one that I remember starting it by refusing to play for the Charlotte Hornets, and we had to get Vlade Divac over here, and then the next guy I remember doing it was the kid from Maryland who didn't want to play with the Grizzlies. I keep wanting to say Stephon Marbury, but that wasn't.
Yeah.
That wasn't Marbury. Marbury was at Georgia Tech. It starts with S. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But those are the two guys I really remember doing it.
I mean, would you not? I mean, I would be going, please don't pick me. Please don't. But, I don't know. Getting back to Kelly Bryant, I don't know what to expect out of him. I think this is where we're going to have to trust Dabo and trust that maybe he learned a little bit from that the season in which he started Cole Stout and then brought Deshaun Long, that if this team is going to challenge for a third national championship appearance and making the playoffs for the third straight year, that he won't be able to fool around. And he doesn't have the luxury of playing games with the quarterbacks and games with the media about who's the best quarterback. I think he's going to have to roll with whoever's the best. And I really think he learned a lot in that year about how to manage a quarterback and how to manage the media and the expectations. Because when you look at it, Clemson had no business losing to Georgia that year. It was the offense. That game was solely on the offense.
Steve Francis, by the way, thank goodness. I couldn't get that off my brain.
That game was solely on the offense. The Florida State game was solely on the offense. So
can we not bring up that game again? We need to shut that game down forever. That's the snap over the head. That's Cole Stout throwing the ball at Jordan Leggett's feet. Oh, frustration.
Yep.
That's frustration. Final segment with Zach Lentz here on Fox Sports Radio tonight. Zach will be in studio here tomorrow, flying solo on the show that shakes the Southland.
Do you need lodging for your next Tigers game? To get a real game day experience, skip the hotel and stay close to campus in one of Rent Like a Champion's comfortable vacation homes. You can call Rent Like a Champion, a Mark Cuban company featured on ABC's Shark Tank, at 855-BIG-GAME to set up your weekend lodging today.
The Party at the Farm is back. Every Wednesday night in June at the Music Farm in the Vista. June 28th, it's Easton Corbin with Dylan Scott and Mo Pitney.
I see the smile on your face. Baby, what did I do? Did you ever get a girl like you? A girl like you?
Easton Corbin, Dylan Scott.
Oh, my girl,
And Mo Pitney, the party at the farm. It's free and powered by Evan Williams Peach, Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey, Bud Light, Gray Collegiate Academy, Auto Glass Now, and South Carolina Department of Corrections Employment Opportunities. VIP tickets now at 97.5WCOS.com.
For 28 years, the professional staff of the Hobbs Group and Hobbs Group Advisors has been dedicated to helping others achieve their financial goals by delivering quality, objective financial and accounting solutions to a diverse client base of individuals and businesses all over South Carolina. We offer tax and audit services, bookkeeping, payroll, litigation support, employee benefits, personal financial planning, investment management, and insurance services. Please call us at 803-799-0555 or visit our website, hobbscpa.com, to learn more about our people and services.
Looking to get away without having to spend a whole day traveling to your destination? Ocean Reef Resort offers 1, 2, 3, and 4 bedroom accommodations with the comforts of home and boasts the best oceanfront views. Experience not only our pools, hot tubs, and lazy river, but also our delicious on-site banana boat lounge and cafe, family game room, fitness center, banquet facilities, and much more. Visit us at oceanreefmyrtlebeach.com or call us at 1-866-935-0530 to learn more.
When you have a need for a plumber, you need it fast and you need it done right. If you're dealing with busted pipes, maybe you need your toilet repaired or you're battling a clogged drain, break free from average service and experience the best with Freedom Plumbing. Call James Carwell and the staff at Freedom Plumbing to get the job done fast, on time, and most importantly, right the first time. Freedom Plumbing, your local 24-hour plumber. Call 803-447-0471 or online at freedom-plumbing.com.
For more information about contests on this station, go to foxsportsradio1400.com/rules.
You're listening to Clemson Sports Talk with my dad, Lawton Swan, on Fox Sports Radio 1400 and on the iHeart Radio app.
What have you done for me lately? It's a fair question. Just don't lose sight of the bigger picture. Don't forget history. Lucky for us at Clemson, the answer to the questions, what have you done for me lately, and what have you done always, are the same. We win.
Weeknights, Fox Sports Radio and iHeart Radio. Lawton
There he
Swan,
is.
Zach Lentz, Lonzo Ball going to my Los Angeles Lakers. That means I got to deal with the reprehensible father up close and personal. That's not good. But the second pick of the draft, Lonzo Ball. I tell you this, I do like this young man's game. I think he was as close to Jason Kidd as a freshman as I've seen in the collegiate game in a while. Just the court vision, ability to pass the ball, push the ball up the floor. Maybe Showtime will be back in L.A.
I just can't stand him.
Yeah. Him or his dad?
Both. I mean, he showed up to Los Angeles' workouts overweight. I mean, and to me, he's a perfect fit for L.A. I mean, the city.
Yeah.
I mean, played his college ball there.
He can stay in his dorm still if he wants.
Exactly.
Maybe still take classes.
Here's the thing, though, with him.
Yeah.
He seems like one of those guys that's just too cool for school. And maybe that could be it. That could be what bugs me about him.
That may be why I like him, because I'm kind of that guy. I'm kind of too cool for school. I like his ability, like the transition. I mean, all of that we're seeing here on the highlights. But, again, I disagree with this statement. Excellent shooter. I don't agree with that. I think he's got a jacked up form that's got to be worked on significantly. I know he makes it, but it's not.
Well, Steph Curry's form isn't great.
That is true. It's not perfect, but it is nice. It's nicer than this one.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
nicer than this.
I don't know. I don't like him. I don't know what it is about him. There are some people that you say, I just don't like them. And there's no real good reason. There's no analysis that goes into it. It's just I don't like him.
Sure.
He's that person. He's that kid.
There, for whatever reason, there are a lot of athletes that find themselves on that side of the conversation.
Yeah, I mean,
it is,
and it's kind of sad. But I mean, I wish I didn't feel this way. Talk me off the ledge here.
Sorry,
I mean, come on, talk me off the ledge.
I got to tell everybody that's listening on an Amazon Echo device, or those of you that have Echoes at home, to enable our Clemson Sports Talk skills. They are really good for your news brief. There's also a couple of college football skills that we've put together for you to keep you updated with everything going on in college sports. That's Gamecock fans, too. You want to make sure you've got those on and working. If you have any questions, you can text me. Text number is 803-450-0086. 803-450-0086. That's the Ocean Reef Resort text line. It comes right to my phone, and I will get back with you if you have any questions on how to enable those skills. I get up, fix a cup of coffee. I say the trigger phrase for my Amazon Echo, what's new, and she goes right into the college football news. You can't get that from Fox Sports. You can't get that from ESPN. You get it from the man that shakes the Southland, Lawton Swan, and L. Swan Media. That's who you get it from.
You know, I've got to get on this Amazon Echo bandwagon.
How do you not have one yet?
I just don't.
Let me tell you what else they've just added. They've just added the feature, so if you have an Echo and I have an Echo and we are in each other's contacts, I can now call you like a home phone.
But I've got a home phone.
Well, a lot of people don't. But it also rings, get this. So let's say you and your wife, right?
Yeah.
I say to my Echo that I want to call Zach. It calls your house and it calls your mobile, but it doesn't call your wife's mobile.
Well, that's good because I don't want her. I don't need her knowing
who's calling you to collect chicken eggs.
Exactly.
I understand.
Exactly.
So that's a pretty neat thing. You know what my wife said to me last night watching us on Watch Fox 57?
What?
She goes, "You guys look alike. Are y'all related?"
I don't think so.
Didn't you say you were adopted?
I was.
So there's a chance.
So you're saying that Papa and Mama Swan could have a little goose out there somewhere.
Could be an ugly duckling out there somewhere. But truth be told, man, I mean, she goes, "You guys look a lot alike." She's like, if you had his hair. Matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm a Photoshop wizard. I'm going to take a picture of your hair tonight.
Okay.
When I get home, I'm going to Photoshop it. I'm going to just see what we're looking at. Because I told her, I said, listen, if I had his hairline, you think I wouldn't be in TV by now? you think they wouldn't be calling me with that hair? Zach, that is spectacular, the hairline.
Yeah, it is. But now it's kind of running away from me behind.
No, well, little. Not bad, Zach. You got a ways to go.
Yeah,
buddy.
yeah, but it's starting to
it's starting to
it's starting to creep away. Little bit of breaking news here.
Okay.
Nothing spectacular, but how about 3 Clemson golfers named to the GCAA All-American team?
I saw that,
Doc
man.
Redmond, Bryson Nimmer, and Carson
Redmond's
Young.
a freshman. He's good.
Yeah. Is there a more underrated coach at Clemson than Larry Penley?
Probably not. And he's been there forever. He's a heck of a nice guy, too.
Yeah, I mean,
he is a heck
I
of
don't
a nice
think
guy.
I don't think there is a coach at Clemson that gets more that gets so little respect and so little love from the media. And look,
yeah.
That's my fault.
I've had him on once. I should probably have him on more, but yeah.
I'll say it. But there's a coach that's consistently in the NCAA tournament, that has won national championships, won ACC championships.
He probably deserves a what do you call it, an emeritus spot in the athletic department, doing something after he's done. He's been there so long.
Well, here's a guy that played college golf at Clemson, along with Mark Packer. I mean, they were roommates. So he played golf at Clemson. He's been around Clemson program for probably 35, 36 years.
No, he absolutely has. And he's a heck of a guy, man. He's the nicest guy you'd ever meet.
Yeah, and you know, it's people just expect that he's going to keep rolling.
Why don't they play on campus? Why do they not use the Walker course, Zach?
Okay, they don't use the Walker course because the practice facility's there. I was told early on that the practice facilities are not capable of hosting the number of players that come through. And that's why you're starting to see the NCAA tournament going to Kiwi Falls or the Reserve or wherever it is up at Lake Kiwi. But that's why. They didn't have the foresight to build a practice facility. The driving range isn't long enough. It doesn't have enough spots on it. So if they were to host a tournament out there, it would be impossible for them to allow players to warm up.
Interesting. The third pick, Jason Tatum from Duke goes to the Boston Celtics. So that'll be the last pick we get on the air here tonight with Zach Lentz. Tomorrow night, Zach will be here in studio running the show by himself.
Yeah.
Zach, man, I'm excited for you. That'll be fun.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to have a big time. Got David Hale, like I said earlier, from ESPN coming on, and our boy
Jadar Johnson.
I'm
looking forward to Jadar, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Catching up with him.
If you've never heard Jadar in an interview,
yeah,
just tune in. He is gold. He is absolute gold.
I thought he was great when Clemson came back and he spoke in front of the 70,000 people at Death Valley. That was awesome. For Zach Lentz, I'm Lawton Swan. We'll be back here on Fox Sports, or he'll be back here tomorrow on Fox Sports Radio 1400 and also on the iHeart Radio app. Gamecock Nation, take a look at the time. It is 56 after 7. We've got to get out of here. Until Monday, I'm Lawton Swan. Tomorrow it'll be Zach. As always, y'all take care now. And go Tigers!
Love it raw? For the freshest sushi in town, Sakatumi Grill and Sushi Bar, 807 Gervais Street in the Vista. Sakatumi's flavorful grill for non-sushi fans features the Kobe burger, filet and lobster, chicken hibachi, and more. Fresh sushi, flavorful grill, Sakatumi Grill and Sushi Bar, sakifresh.com.
Business owners, have you had to let your last couple of sales hires go because they were not making quota year one? Want to add high-quality staff members? ProRecruits.net is the answer. Here's why. ProRecruits.net will guarantee their sales hires for 6 months, or they will replace them for free. ProRecruits.net has lower pricing compared to the typical new hire contingency fees in the industry. ProRecruits.net offers a tremendous value for your recruiting dollars. Call 704-737-9970 and let ProRecruits.net help your business grow.
Our customers receive the best heating and air conditioning service in South Carolina. Hi, I'm Tim Mosley, and I can make that statement because that's what our customers tell us every day. We call it Quality Confirmed. Call us at 803-233-7172, and we'll call you when the job is done to confirm we met your expectations. That's Quality Confirmed. We're Carolina Conditions, and we're committed to meeting your expectations. 803-233-7172. Call us at 803-233-7172.
Your pet deserves high-quality health care. Your pet deserves the friendly, professional doctors and courteous staff at Midland's Veterinary Practice. We treat you and your pet like family by listening carefully to your concerns and addressing your pet's long-term health care needs. With the use of our latest state-of-the-art technology, like a therapeutic laser, we offer alternatives to drug therapy. At Midland's Veterinary Practice, we care for the most valuable pets, yours. Visit us at MidlandsVet.com on Facebook or Twitter, or contact us at 750-7387, 750-PETS.
You're on Pit Stop Radio, and here's what real customers have to say about their pit stop.
Fountain drinks, they got 32 ounces, 99 cents. Yeah, that's a great deal. Everybody should stop by Pit Stop. Support your community. Don't stop till you're at Pit Stop.
Tiger fans, look no further than the Tiger Sports Shop in Clemson for all your game day gear. Since 1974, they brought you everything Clemson for the Clemson fan, with quality brand names such as Nike, Under Armour, Antigua, Ping, and many more. From hats to t-shirts to tailgate, the Tiger Sports Shop has all the Clemson apparel a true Tiger fan needs. With 2 convenient game day locations in Tigertown, shop where I shop at I Am Ibrahim's Tiger Sports Shop. They fuel the passion of Tiger fans everywhere. Check them out online, tigersports.com.
Unexpected reactions to smart financial decisions brought to you by feedthepig.org.
Well, I finally did it. I opened a 401k.
So you're giving up, just like that.
Giving up on what?
On getting an inheritance from a distant relative.
Don't you think if there were a billionaire in the family, we'd know about it by now?
Listen to me. We are one phone call away from riding horses on our own private polo grounds. One call from christening yachts, having a butler, using summer as a verb.
How do you figure?
Look, everyone's got a rich uncle somewhere. It's statistics. So the best thing you can do is just prepare for the inevitable.
Right, which is why I thought maybe it would be smart to take control of my finances. You know, start using a budget, get out of debt, set some retirement goals.
Budgets? Debt? You watch your mouth. Retirement shouldn't be a goal for us. It should be a way of life.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
From the E.F. Martin Heating and Air Studios, this is Fox Sports Radio 1400. WCOS Columbia. Available anywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app. Fox Sports Radio.
Now I can scream that we made it.
Your team's picks are in.
With the first pick, the Philadelphia 76ers select Markelle Fultz. With the second pick, the Los Angeles Lakers select Lonzo Ball.
I told you, from the words of Zeus, Jesus, everybody said he's going to be a Laker. They told me before they told y'all.
With the third pick in the 2017 NBA Draft, the Boston Celtics select Jason Tatum.
We're breaking down this draft coverage.
Yeah.
With the best insight and player analysis. Once again, we're live from the Geico studios of Fox Sports Radio with Chris Broussard and world champion of the Los Angeles Lakers, Metta World Peace. Here's Doug Gottlieb.
The NBA draft coverage rolls on here on Fox Sports Radio. Coming to you live from the Geico Fox Sports Radio studios. 15 minutes to save you 15% or more on your car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate code. All right. Let's first update you. The number one overall pick, not a surprise. Markelle Fultz goes to the Philadelphia 76ers. The number two pick, not a surprise. Lonzo Ball stays home in L.A. with the L.A. Lakers. The number three pick, remember the Boston Celtics were one. They traded with the Philadelphia 76ers. They also got a first-round draft pick next year. Which,
great move.
So they got 3 first-round draft picks, their own. They got the Nets, which will be a top 5 at least, if not top 3, might possibly the number one overall pick. And then they get the Lakers pick next year. So would it be Josh Jackson? Would it be Jason Tatum? I think we both thought it would be Tatum before. It does end up becoming Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum, small forward, 6'8", 205, Duke.
Blocked and is saved in bounds, but right in the hands of Tatum for a jam.
Tatum was a mismatch nightmare for opponents last season, averaging almost 17 points per game for the Blue Devils. The 19-year-old added size to his frame in college and a three-point shot. Defensively, Tatum may be a tweener, where he's too big to guard threes and too small to guard fours. However, he's so good in isolation sets that he should be able to contribute offensively early in his NBA career.
This is Fox Sports Radio's coverage of the 2017 NBA Draft. World champion, Metta World Peace, Chris Broussard. I'm Doug Gottlieb. Okay, so apparently, though, per Adrian Wojnarowski, the Pacers are in negotiations with the Boston Celtics even after that pick. Jason Tatum is a very well-regarded player. By my estimation, he's the most ready to play and ready to contribute of the top 10 in the NBA Draft. So, Chris, does this change your opinion of the Pacers and their desire to wait? Like, I think if they're in rebuild mode,
if Boston's willing to give them a nice package for Paul George, the Pacers will do that. You know, the question is Boston really ready to do that without a promise from Paul George that you're going to stay there long term? I wouldn't do it.
But if you give them a first-round draft, the Boston's first-round draft pick next year. You give them one of the. They still have a glutton of players, right? I mean,
yes.
Like, look, you got it. Like Isaiah Thomas,
you're gambling. You're gambling to say you're betting with George that look, if we win the East, he'll stay, right? Yeah.
But you also like you don't know if you want how much you want to pay for Isaiah Thomas next year. There's
no,
a lot
I'm with you on that.
Okay, so Metta, let's just propose this again. The trade has not happened. There's just discussions about it. But if it was Isaiah Thomas with Avery Bradley. And with Paul George at the 3.
Al Horford
and then let's see if they can hold on to Jay Crowder at the 4. There's some other options for them.
Right.
How much closer to Cleveland is that Jaylen Brown? We'll see if he gets moved. He was talked about with Boston. How much closer to Cleveland would the Boston Celtics be?
It'd be great. I wouldn't move Jaylen Brown. I like Jaylen, but I think with Paul, as that go-to player that can complement Isaiah, and they did a great job this year. I think if they get Paul, I think you give up Tatum because Paul's ready now.
They're really good. They're closer to Cleveland. They still go out in maybe 6 instead of 5. I mean, really. I still don't think they beat Cleveland unless Cleveland's morale is so low because they couldn't change the team. You wanted Paul. You wanted Jimmy. You didn't get either. I don't know what type of changes they're going to make, but that's the only way Boston beats them.
Oh, hold on. We got to take a 20 here for a second. We don't know what Gordon Hayward's going to do.
Well, that's true.
And I don't know
George, they don't need Hayward.
I don't know. And again, I don't know their cap flexibility and what they could do. The Boston Celtics, as of today, were $24 million under the luxury tax space. They're $13 million under the cap.
But hold on, this is the thing. Would you agree if Boston gets Paul George, they don't need Gordon Hayward?
Why?
Because they essentially play the same position. You want to play George at the 4, Hayward at the 3.
Yeah.
Well, let me bring this up.
I mean, wait, look, that's how you compete in the NBA. You got guys that can stretch the floor, guys that can get buckets.
But how about this? If you're Utah, if I'm Utah, I would take Kevin Love for Gordon Hayward. The question is, would Cleveland do that? I don't think Cleveland would do that.
You only take him if you think
Hayward's leaving.
If Gordon Hayward says, I'm leaving, you have to trade me.
And Kevin Love would be a good piece.
I just want to point out, like we are looking at literally, and with always like, look, there's always been the Gordon Hayward. I mean,
some people,
dude in Boston playing for his college coach. Like, come on now.
White dude in Utah too.
I like Gordon in Cleveland.
You like Gordon
White
in Cleveland?
Dude in Indiana.
Now they do
Indiana,
need to
Utah,
get
Boston.
that's why I thought Indiana might want Love too. But if you're Cleveland, I gotta get Hayward and I have to get a big with him.
Yeah.
Obviously not Gobert. Probably not Derek Favors.
You have to get a big with him. Why?
Because I'm losing Love.
Yeah, but LeBron has to slide
move
to the
LeBron to the 4, Hayward to the 3.
Yeah,
LeBron's not good at the 4.
He's not a natural rebounder. I mean that's the big.
He can get you 10.
But that's the big challenge to them is that nobody's talking about is even if they added Paul George, like LeBron's not a natural rebounder, and that could end up being their undoing. On the other hand, you got to keep up with the Joneses with Golden State if you want to win a championship. It's really, really hard. All right, so we have the first 3 picks. The 4th pick, the Phoenix Suns. We talked about Tatum or Jackson. The Suns select from Kansas, the freshman, Josh Jackson.
Josh Jackson, small forward, 6'8", 207, Kansas.
Jackson will try a three-pointer from straight on, bury it.
Jackson made the most of his one season in Lawrence, earning Big 12 Freshman of the Year honors and was also a first-team All-Conference selection. The 20-year-old's defense will make him a contributor right away in the NBA. The biggest issue holding Jackson back may be off the court, after he allegedly made threats to a woman in December and is now in a diversion program for damaging her car. His baggage is a little heavier than other prospects in the draft.
All I can tell you is every person I've talked to Kansas swears by Josh Jackson, and that story is a little bit more in depth than we were able to give you in 15 seconds. The bigger thing is this is a team in the Phoenix Suns that has a good depth of young talent, but there is no culture of winning. You know, Devin Booker scores 70 points, but they lose by 10, and they're taking pictures like they won the NBA championship last year against the Boston Celtics.
Steven Jackson in that locker room.
Well, that's what Josh Jackson is. Okay, Josh Jackson is one of those guys that lunch pail dude. He's got a little Ron Artest to him. He's got a Meta World Peace, whichever one of the Eagles. He got a little bit of both to him. He can't be your best player, but he doesn't have to with that. He can't be your leading scorer because he's kind of got a hitch in his shot.
Right.
But he can play 2 or 3 positions. He can guard 2 or 3 positions. He can make a shot. He can rebound. He's athletic, and he competes. I love this pick for the Phoenix Suns. I hope they hold on to this pick.
I like it, too. Look, if they could get Porzingis for him, I'd move him. But other than something like that, I think they keep it. They need to start winning. It's been 7 years now. They've been out of the playoffs. They're kind of one of those cautionary tales for all these teams that want to say, let's rebuild and go to the bottom.
Yeah.